Have you ever felt like someone was pulling your strings, manipulating your emotions, or pushing your buttons just to get a reaction? Emotional mind games aren't just frustrating. They can leave you questioning your own judgment, doubting your worth, and feeling powerless. The worst part? Sometimes you don't even realize it's happening until you're deep in the trap. Now imagine this. What if you could see these games for what they are, mere distractions, and respond with unshakable calm and confidence? Picture yourself as a fortress, untouchable by manipulation, and guided by wisdom rather than impulsive emotion. That's where Stoicism comes in. Here's the truth. Many people think Stoicism is about suppressing emotions, but that's a misconception. It's not about shutting down feelings, it's about mastering them. It's a philosophy that equips you to handle life's challenges, including emotional manipulation, with clarity, resilience, and grace. In this video, we'll explore 10 powerful Stoic principles to outsmart emotional mind games. Each strategy is rooted in ancient wisdom, yet profoundly practical for modern life. By the end, you'll not only understand how to handle these situations, but also how to reclaim your peace, protect your boundaries, and strengthen your Stoic relationships. So, are you ready to discover how to outsmart emotional manipulation with the timeless wisdom of Stoicism? Let's dive in with the first principle. 1. Identify the game before playing. The first step in outsmarting emotional mind games is recognizing that they exist. How often do you find yourself reacting to someone's words or actions without taking a moment to question their intent? Do you ever pause to wonder, what's really happening here? Emotional manipulation often succeeds because it plays on our instinct to react impulsively. By the time we realize what's going on, we may already be caught in a web of emotions that blinds us to the bigger picture. Imagine someone pushing you to respond in anger, guilt, or frustration. Their power lies in your unthinking response. But what if, instead of reacting, you paused, observed, and reflected? This is the foundation of Stoicism, cultivating awareness to understand the true nature of a situation before responding. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a renowned Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. These words remind us that no one can manipulate us without our consent. Manipulators aim to provoke a reaction, but the reaction is yours to control. This realization is the first line of defense against emotional manipulation. When someone attempts to manipulate you, ask yourself some key questions. Are they projecting their insecurities onto you? Are they trying to control your emotions for their benefit? Is their behavior driven by something internal that has little to do with you? These inquiries shift the dynamic. You stop being a passive participant and instead become a detached observer, seeing their actions for what they are, external provocations with no inherent power over you. This awareness is not about labeling others as villains or dismissing their struggles. Often, those who manipulate others are grappling with their own fears, insecurities, or unmet needs. A Stoic approach calls for clarity, not judgment. You're not seeking to retaliate or escalate the situation. You're simply striving to understand, and doing so, protect your inner peace. Recognizing the game isn't always easy, especially when emotions are running high. Manipulation often disguises itself in subtle gestures or words designed to trigger specific reactions. It might come in the form of guilt trips, passive-aggressive comments, or attempts to undermine your confidence. These tactics are often so ingrained in everyday interactions that they can feel normal, even expected. But by training yourself to pause and reflect, you start to see these patterns for what they are: attempts to gain control over your emotions. A practical way to build this awareness is to adopt the mindset of an investigator. Imagine you're piecing together clues about someone's behavior. When you feel provoked, ask yourself, what words are they using? What tone are they speaking in? What is their body language saying? Instead of reacting, observe. Pay attention to the patterns. Is this a one-time occurrence, or is it part of a larger strategy? By stepping into the role of an observer, you create space between the trigger and your response. This space is where your power lies. Let's take a moment to reflect on the value of this practice. When you recognize the game, you remove its power. Emotional manipulation thrives in the shadows of our unawareness. By bringing it into the light, you transform it into something manageable. You're no longer controlled by the situation, you're in control of yourself. This principle also ties deeply to the Stoic concept of reason. As Epictetus, another prominent Stoic, emphasized, it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. By identifying the emotional game, you're taking the first step toward mastering your reactions. You're reclaiming the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. However, this awareness isn't just a tool for defense. It's also a foundation for building stronger, healthier relationships. Stoic relationships thrive on mutual respect, honesty, and emotional clarity. When you approach situations with awareness, you model these qualities, encouraging others to engage with you in a more authentic and respectful way. In essence, identifying the game before playing it is about reclaiming your agency. It's about understanding that you have a choice, always. You can choose to engage, to step back, or to redirect your energy entirely. This realization is empowering. It sets the stage for the other Stoic principles we'll explore, each designed to help you build emotional resilience and navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Recognize the game, step into the observer's role, and you'll find yourself one step closer to mastering your emotions, not just in the face of manipulation, but in all aspects of life. 2. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. At its heart, this principle is simple yet profoundly transformative. Some things are within your control, and others are not. But how often do we forget this when caught in the throes of emotional mind games? How much time and energy do we waste trying to control what we never could in the first place? Imagine someone criticizing you unfairly or blaming you for something beyond your responsibility. The natural instinct is to defend yourself, to argue, or to prove them wrong. But is this reaction helping you, or are you giving them exactly what they want? Control over your emotional state. The Stoics remind us that true freedom lies in focusing only on what we can control. Epictetus put it best when he said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This perspective changes the game entirely. Instead of fixating on the actions or words of others, shift your attention inward. Ask yourself what part of this situation is mine to manage and what belongs to someone else. When dealing with emotional manipulation, this question is critical. You can't control how someone else behaves or what they say. Their words, actions, and intentions are outside your sphere of influence. But what is in your control? Your reactions, your thoughts, your decisions. By anchoring yourself in this reality, you reclaim your power. Here's an example. Imagine someone at work or in your personal life trying to provoke you into an argument. They might use harsh words or exaggerate a situation, hoping to draw you in. If you try to control their behavior or convince them to see things differently, you'll likely end up frustrated. But if you remind yourself that their behavior is their responsibility, not yours, you can step back and respond with calm clarity instead of reacting emotionally. This is easier said than done. Of course, letting go of what you can't control often feels unnatural, especially in high-stakes situations where emotions run high. But with practice, it becomes second nature. Start by noticing where your energy is going. Are you pouring it into areas you can influence, or are you wasting it on things beyond your control? When you feel yourself slipping into frustration, pause and reflect. Is this within my power to change? If not, how can I shift my focus to what is? The beauty of this practice is that it not only shields you from manipulation, but also fosters emotional resilience. You'll find that situations that once left you anxious or angry no longer hold the same power over you. You'll feel lighter, freer, and more grounded. This mindset doesn't just help you handle challenges, it transforms how you experience life. Well, think about how this principle can enhance your relationships as well. Stoic relationships thrive when both parties focus on what they can control, their actions, their communication, and their emotional accountability. When you stop trying to control others and instead take full responsibility for your role in interactions, You create a space for mutual respect and understanding. This doesn't mean tolerating toxic behavior. It means setting boundaries and acting in alignment with your values, regardless of how others behave. Now, here's where you come in. If this principle resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on how you might apply it in your own life. Have you been trying to control the uncontrollable? What might change if you let go of that burden and focused only on what's within your power? If you've made it this far, you're already showing a commitment to personal growth, and that's worth celebrating. So if you're finding value in these Stoic insights, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 below if you're ready to focus on what you can control. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of these transformative strategies. Your journey toward a more peaceful and powerful life is just getting started. 3. Pause and reflect before responding. In the heat of the moment, when emotions are running high and someone is trying to manipulate you, the temptation to react immediately can feel overwhelming. But if there's one lesson Stoicism teaches us, it's the immense power of a pause. This small, often overlooked action can be the difference between escalating a situation and handling it with wisdom. Think about the last time someone said something that made your blood boil. Did you fire back a quick response, only to regret it later? Or did you feel the urge to act but manage to hold back, giving yourself time to think? That pause, however brief, is where your power lies. It's the space between stimulus and response, the moment where you regain control over yourself instead of letting the situation control you. The Stoics valued this pause deeply. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to wait for clarity. He knew that rash actions born from strong emotions rarely lead to good outcomes. When we're angry, hurt, or afraid, our judgment becomes clouded. Reacting from this place often plays right into the hands of those trying to manipulate us. To pause and reflect isn't to suppress your emotions, it's to acknowledge them without letting them dictate your actions. This is an act of strength, not avoidance. When you pause, you give yourself time to ask important questions. What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? What is the wisest response to this situation? These moments of reflection help you step out of the emotional fog and see the situation clearly. You're no longer reacting from a place of vulnerability, you're responding from a place of strength and self-awareness. Consider the practical implications of this principle. For example, if someone criticizes you unfairly, your immediate reaction might be to defend yourself angrily or attack them in return. But a Stoic pause allows you to assess the situation. Is their criticism valid? If it is, you can accept it gracefully and learn from it. If it's not, you can dismiss it without giving it unnecessary weight. Either way, you avoid the trap of engaging emotionally and instead respond in a way that aligns with your values. This practice also requires humility, a willingness to admit that your first instinct may not always be the right one. The Stoics believed in the importance of aligning actions with reason rather than emotion. Pausing allows you to bring reason back into the equation. It gives you the chance to ask yourself, what response will serve me best in the long run? This question shifts your focus from immediate gratification to long-term growth and peace. The power of a pause extends beyond moments of conflict. It's a valuable tool for navigating life's everyday challenges. When you're faced with a difficult decision, taking a moment to pause and reflect helps you avoid impulsive choices. It reminds you to prioritize what truly matters and act in alignment with your principles. This habit of pausing and reflecting is not something that happens overnight. It's a skill that requires practice. One effective way to cultivate it is by incorporating a daily reflection practice into your routine. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review your interactions. Were there times when you reacted too quickly? What might have changed if you'd paused instead? Over time, this practice will strengthen your ability to pause in real time. Pausing is also a key ingredient in building Stoic relationships. When you take the time to reflect before responding, you communicate with greater thoughtfulness and respect. This creates an environment of trust and understanding where emotional games lose their power. Your relationships become less about reacting to each other's flaws and more about supporting each other's growth. In a world that often demands instant responses, the ability to pause and reflect is a rare and valuable skill. It sets you apart, not as someone who avoids conflict, but as someone who handles it with wisdom and grace. By mastering this principle, you're not just outsmarting emotional mind games, you're transforming how you show up in every aspect of your life. The next time you feel the pull to react, immediately remember, you have the power to pause. And in that pause lies your freedom. 4. Master the art of indifference. When someone tries to provoke you emotionally, they're counting on one thing: your attachment to the outcome. They want you to care so deeply about their approval, their opinion, or the situation they've created that you lose your balance. But what if their efforts to shake you fell flat because quite simply you chose not to care? This is the Stoic art of indifference, one of the most liberating tools for outsmarting emotional manipulation. Now, don't mistake indifference for apathy. Indifference in the Stoic sense isn't about disengaging from life or ignoring people. It's about deciding what truly matters and letting go of everything that doesn't. As Epictetus said, it's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things. When you master this mindset, you become untouchable. Words, actions, or opinions aimed at provoking you lose their sting because you've already decided they hold no power over your peace. Think about it. How often do emotional mind games succeed because we take the bait? Someone criticizes us, and we feel the need to defend ourselves. Someone gives us the cold shoulder, and we start overanalyzing what we did wrong. But what if, instead of reacting, you step back and ask yourself, does this truly matter in the grand scheme of things? The Stoics taught that most things in life are indifferent, meaning they're neither inherently good nor bad. It's our perception of them that gives them weight. By training yourself to focus only on what aligns with your values and goals, you free yourself from the chaos of other people's games. Imagine walking through life with this mindset, where insults roll off you like water off a stone, and provocations feel like distant echoes you barely notice. This principle is especially powerful in relationships. Stoic relationships are built on mutual respect and a shared understanding of what truly matters. By practicing indifference to petty conflicts, manipulative tactics, or ego-driven behaviors, you create a foundation of emotional stability. Instead of getting drawn into unnecessary drama, you remain centered, inspiring others to do the same. Applying this in your daily life takes practice, but the results are worth it. Start by noticing when you feel pulled into a reaction. Pause and ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? If it doesn't align with your values or contribute to your growth, let it go. Over time, you'll find that many of the things that once provoked you no longer have the same grip. This isn't weakness, it's strength. It's choosing where your attention goes and refusing to let others dictate your emotional state. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine someone at work is always undermining your efforts or making snide remarks. Your initial instinct might be to confront them, defend yourself, or try to win their approval. But a Stoic approach would be to view their actions as indifferent. Their behavior doesn't define your worth or your success. By detaching from their attempts to provoke you, you conserve your energy for what truly matters: your goals, your peace of mind, and your principles. When you master indifference, you'll notice a profound shift in how you interact with the world. Challenges feel lighter. Manipulations become transparent. You walk through life with a calm assurance that no external force can shake your internal stability. This is the freedom that Stoicism offers, a life lived on your terms, unshaken by the noise around you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Are you ready to embrace the art of indifference and reclaim your peace of mind? If this resonates with you, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 below if you're ready to focus on what truly matters. Don't forget to subscribe for more strategies to build emotional resilience and master the wisdom of Stoicism. Your journey to a calmer, stronger self starts right here. 5. Focus on logic, not emotion. When caught in an emotional mind game, your feelings can quickly become the manipulator's most potent weapon. Fear, anger, guilt, or even excitement, all of these emotions can be used to cloud your judgment and pull you into a reactive state. But the Stoics believed that reason, not emotion, should guide your actions. By focusing on logic, you can see through the noise and respond with clarity and strength. The Stoic philosophers understood the dangers of letting emotions govern decisions. Seneca once observed, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Emotional manipulation thrives on this dynamic, exploiting your fears and insecurities to steer your actions. When you step back and allow logic to take the lead, you break this cycle. You stop reacting to what feels true in the moment and start responding to what is true. Imagine someone accusing you of being selfish because you've set a boundary. Their words are designed to provoke guilt, hoping you'll drop your guard and comply. In this situation, a purely emotional reaction might lead you to over-explain, apologize, or give in to their demands. But if you focus on logic, you can assess the accusation rationally. Is there evidence to support it? Is their claim consistent with your values and intentions? When you evaluate the situation through reason, the manipulative tactic becomes less effective. Focusing on logic doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or suppressing them. Emotions are natural and provide valuable insights into your inner state. However, Stoicism teaches us to observe our emotions without being ruled by them. When you feel anger, for example, you can acknowledge it without letting it dictate your actions. Instead, use it as a signal to investigate what's triggering you and whether the response it urges is justified. This practice becomes even more powerful when applied to verbal manipulation. Words are a common tool in emotional mind games, often delivered with calculated intent to provoke. The Stoic approach is to dissect these words with logic, break them down and question their validity. Are they exaggerations? Do they rely on assumptions or vague accusations? By analyzing the language used, you can strip away its emotional impact and uncover the truth beneath. Consider the role of logic in decision-making as well. Emotional manipulation often thrives in moments of haste, where you're pressured to act quickly without thinking things through. A manipulator might try to rush you into a choice, knowing that urgency clouds reason. But Stoicism encourages deliberate, thoughtful action. By taking the time to evaluate your options logically, you avoid falling into traps and make decisions aligned with your principles. The benefits of prioritizing logic extend beyond avoiding manipulation. This approach strengthens your relationships and personal integrity. Stoic relationships are built on mutual respect and clear communication, and logic plays a vital role in maintaining these qualities. When you approach conflicts or misunderstandings with reason rather than emotion, you foster an atmosphere of trust and accountability. Others are more likely to respect your boundaries and engage with you authentically when they see that you operate from a place of calm rationality. To integrate this principle into your daily life, start by practicing self-awareness in emotionally charged situations. When you feel yourself reacting strongly, pause and ask, "What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling it?" Then shift your focus to the facts of the situation. What do you know for certain? What assumptions might you be making? What's the most logical course of action based on these facts? This habit won't eliminate emotions, they are part of being human, but it will put them in the rightful place. Instead of driving your actions, emotions become signals that inform your reasoning. This balance between feeling and thinking is the hallmark of a Stoic mind. When you train yourself to prioritize logic over emotion, you gain a powerful tool for navigating life's challenges. Emotional manipulation loses its grip, decisions become clearer, and your interactions with others are marked by respect and authenticity. In this clarity lies your freedom, an unshakable foundation of inner peace and resilience. 6. Reframe the narrative. One of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal is the ability to reframe any situation. Manipulators often succeed because they control the narrative, twisting events, words, or circumstances to make you doubt yourself or react emotionally. But what if you could take back that control? What if you could shift your perspective and turn the situation into an opportunity for growth, strength, or even humor? This is the art of reframing, and it's a game changer. The Stoics believe that events themselves are neutral. It's our interpretation of them that gives them meaning. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, The pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. When you reframe the narrative, you take control of your perspective and transform how the situation affects you. Let's take an example. Imagine someone criticizes you in a meeting, trying to undermine your confidence in front of others. The immediate narrative that might spring to mind is, "They're attacking me. I must defend myself." This perspective naturally triggers emotions like anger or embarrassment. But what if you reframed it? What if you saw it as an opportunity to demonstrate grace under pressure? Instead of reacting defensively, you calmly address the criticism, staying composed and focused. In that moment, you not only diffuse the situation but also showcase your strength and professionalism. Reframing isn't about ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing a perspective that serves you. The manipulator wants you to see yourself as weak, inadequate, or at fault. Reframing allows you to see yourself as resilient, adaptable, and in control. It's a shift that changes everything, not the situation itself, but your relationship to it. This principle is deeply empowering in relationships. Emotional mind games often create a sense of imbalance, where one person tries to dominate or diminish the other. But Stoic relationships thrive on equality, mutual respect, and understanding. By reframing the narrative, you level the playing field. Instead of seeing manipulation as a threat, you view it as a chance to reinforce your boundaries, assert your values, and deepen your commitment to emotional clarity. Here's a practical way to start reframing. When faced with a challenging situation, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? How can I grow from this? Manipulative behavior, for instance, can teach you to set stronger boundaries or recognize unhealthy patterns more quickly. Even painful experiences can become catalysts for personal growth when viewed through the lens of Stoicism. This approach doesn't just protect you from manipulation, it transforms your mindset. You begin to see life as a series of opportunities rather than obstacles. Challenges become chances to practice patience, resilience, and wisdom. Over time, this perspective builds a sense of inner peace that's unshaken by external circumstances. Reframing also helps you keep the bigger picture in mind. When someone tries to provoke you, it's easy to get caught up in the moment and lose sight of what truly matters. But the Stoics encourage us to zoom out and see life from a broader perspective. Is this momentary conflict worth your energy? Will it matter in a week, a month, or a year? By stepping back and viewing the situation with a wider lens, you can respond with clarity and purpose. If this principle resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on how you can start reframing challenges in your life. Have there been situations where a shift in perspective might have changed your experience? What narratives are you holding onto that no longer serve you? If you're finding value in these insights, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 below if you're ready to reframe challenges into opportunities for growth. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical Stoic wisdom to help you master your mindset and live with resilience. Your journey toward a stronger, calmer self is just beginning. 7. Strengthen your inner fortress. When dealing with emotional manipulation, it's easy to feel like you're under constant attack. Words, gestures, and actions designed to provoke or control you can chip away at your confidence and peace if you let them. The Stoic answer to this is simple but profound. Build a strong inner fortress. This isn't a physical barrier. It's a state of mind, a foundation of self-sufficiency and resilience that no one can breach. Stoicism teaches that your peace of mind should never be dependent on external circumstances. Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In this context, your inner fortress is your mastery of self, your thoughts, values, and reactions. When these are strong and grounded, external manipulation loses its power. People may try to provoke you, but their efforts fall short because you remain rooted in your own truth. Building an inner fortress begins with self-awareness. Do you know what you truly value? Are you clear on your principles and boundaries? Manipulation often succeeds because it exploits uncertainty. If you're unsure of your worth or unclear about your priorities, it's easier for others to sow doubt and steer your emotions. But when you've taken the time to define what matters to you, you become unshakable. You don't need validation from others, and their attempts to undermine you fail to find a foothold. This practice also involves strengthening your emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, and people's actions are often beyond your control. You can't stop someone from criticizing you, but you can choose not to internalize their words. You can't prevent someone from being manipulative, but you can decide how much access they have to your emotions. By consistently reminding yourself of what is within your control, your thoughts, choices, and reactions, you reinforce the walls of your inner fortress. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you've set a boundary with someone who repeatedly tries to cross it. They respond with guilt-tripping or anger, hoping to make you relent. A weak inner fortress might crumble under this pressure, leaving you second-guessing your decision. But a strong fortress remains firm. You've already reflected on why this boundary matters, and you trust your judgment. Their reaction doesn't sway you because your peace isn't tied to their approval. Another way to strengthen your inner fortress is through daily practices that cultivate mindfulness and self-discipline. Journaling, for example, helps you process emotions and clarify your thoughts. Meditation trains you to observe your feelings without becoming entangled in them. Regular reflection on Stoic teachings reminds you to focus on what truly matters and to let go of distractions. These habits build the mental and emotional muscles you need to stay grounded, even in challenging situations. It's also important to guard against self-sabotage. Sometimes the greatest threat to your inner fortress isn't an external manipulator, but your own inner critic. Negative self-talk, doubts, and fears can erode your confidence if left unchecked. Stoicism teaches us to challenge these internal voices with reason and compassion. When you catch yourself spiraling into self-doubt, pause and ask, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Does it align with my values? By addressing your inner critic with the same clarity you would apply to an external manipulator, you reinforce your inner strength. A strong inner fortress doesn't mean shutting people out or becoming emotionally detached. On the contrary, it allows you to engage with others more authentically. Stoic relationships thrive when both individuals have a secure sense of self. When you're not constantly seeking approval or validation, you can approach relationships from a place of generosity and trust, rather than fear or insecurity. This creates deeper, more meaningful connections. Ultimately, your inner fortress is your refuge, a place of calm and clarity that protects you from the chaos of the outside world. It's a reminder that no matter what others say or do, your peace is yours to guard. By building and maintaining this inner strength, you not only outsmart emotional manipulation, but also cultivate a life of purpose, resilience, and freedom. 8. Set and enforce boundaries. In the realm of emotional manipulation, boundaries are your greatest defense. Without clear boundaries, you leave yourself vulnerable to being controlled, guilt-tripped, or coerced into actions that don't align with your values. But with well-defined and consistently enforced boundaries, you reclaim your power and create a safe space for yourself to thrive. The Stoics understood the importance of this practice and believed in the strength of living in alignment with one's principles. A boundary isn't just about saying no to others, it's about saying yes to yourself. It's a commitment to protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. When you set boundaries, you're not being selfish or unkind, you're taking responsibility for your inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius put it, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Boundaries are an expression of this power. Now consider why boundaries are often difficult to enforce. Many of us fear being seen as rude, cold, or uncooperative. Manipulators know this and exploit it, using tactics like guilt or intimidation to push past your limits. But a boundary that can be crossed isn't really a boundary, it's just a suggestion. Enforcing boundaries requires clarity and confidence. When you clearly communicate your limits and follow through with consistent action, you send a message. You respect yourself and you expect others to do the same. Here's a practical example. Imagine a friend or colleague frequently interrupts your personal time with unnecessary requests or dramatic stories. While you care about them, their behavior drains your energy and distracts you from your priorities. The first step in setting a boundary is to identify the issue clearly. Is it the frequency of their interruptions? The way they demand immediate attention? Once you've pinpointed the problem, communicate your boundary respectfully but firmly. I value our friendship, but I need to focus on my personal time without interruptions. Let's set up specific times to talk instead. The key to enforcing this boundary is consistency. If they continue to call or demand your attention outside of agreed-upon times, you'll need to follow through on your decision not to engage. This can feel uncomfortable, but remember, boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about protecting your energy and staying aligned with your values. Setting boundaries is also critical in cultivating Stoic relationships. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and boundaries play a big role in maintaining that respect. When you clearly express your needs and honor the boundaries of others, you create an environment of trust and understanding. People come to know what to expect from you, and you set a standard for how you expect to be treated. Of course, there will always be those who resist your boundaries. Manipulative individuals may test your limits repeatedly, hoping to find a weakness. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism becomes invaluable. Epictetus taught, it is not events that disturb people, but their judgments about them. When someone challenges your boundaries, don't take it as a personal attack. Instead, see it as an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to your principles. Their resistance is a reflection of their own struggles, not a measure of your worth. Enforcing boundaries also requires self-awareness. Sometimes we allow others to cross our boundaries because we're unsure of what we truly want. Take the time to reflect on your values and priorities. What are you willing to tolerate, and what is non-negotiable? When you're clear on these answers, you'll find it easier to stand firm in the face of resistance. If you're finding these insights helpful and want to continue building your emotional resilience, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 below if you're ready to set and enforce boundaries with confidence. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical Stoic wisdom and strategies to help you live with purpose and peace. Together, we can build a life grounded in strength, clarity, and authenticity. 9. Practice compassion toward others and yourself. When dealing with emotional manipulation, the natural instinct is often to feel anger, frustration, or even resentment toward the manipulator. However, Stoicism offers an alternative approach, compassion. This might seem counterintuitive at first, but understanding and extending compassion, both to others and to yourself, is one of the most effective ways to diffuse manipulation and maintain your peace of mind. The Stoics believe that people act out of ignorance, driven by their own fears, insecurities, or unmet needs. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" This mindset encourages empathy, reminding us that those who manipulate are often grappling with their own struggles. They may not even fully understand the harm they're causing. By approaching these situations with compassion, you can protect your inner peace while refusing to be drawn into their games. Compassion doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior or excusing manipulation. It means recognizing that the other person's actions are often a reflection of their inner turmoil, not a personal attack on you. When you view their behavior through this lens, it becomes easier to detach emotionally. You see their actions for what they are, an attempt to meet their needs in an unskillful way. At the same time, practicing self-compassion is equally important. Emotional mind games can leave you feeling drained, doubting yourself, or even questioning your boundaries. In these moments, it's crucial to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer to a friend. Remind yourself that no one navigates manipulation perfectly, and that your efforts to protect your peace and act with integrity are enough. Let's explore how this might look in practice. Imagine someone in your life consistently criticizes your decisions, making subtle comments designed to undermine your confidence. Instead of reacting defensively or internalizing their words, pause and consider their perspective. What might they be projecting onto you? Are their comments stemming from their own insecurities or frustrations? By reframing their behavior as a reflection of their struggles rather than a judgment of you, you create emotional distance. You can still assert your boundaries and respond firmly, but you do so without anger or resentment clouding your judgment. This compassionate approach also helps you avoid falling into the trap of retaliation. Manipulation often thrives on cycles of conflict. One person lashes out, the other retaliates, and the tension escalates. Compassion breaks this cycle. When you respond with understanding rather than aggression, you disarm the manipulator and maintain your own emotional equilibrium. In practicing self-compassion, it's helpful to remind yourself that progress, not perfection, is the goal. No one responds to manipulation flawlessly every time. There will be moments when you react emotionally or second-guess your decisions. In these instances, avoid harsh self-criticism. Instead, reflect on what you can learn from the experience and how you can handle similar situations differently in the future. Growth is a process, and every step you take toward greater awareness and resilience is a victory. Compassion also strengthens your relationships. Stoic relationships are built on mutual respect and the shared understanding that no one is perfect. By extending compassion to others, you foster an environment of trust and empathy. This doesn't mean allowing harmful behavior to go unchecked. It means addressing issues with clarity and care, aiming to resolve conflicts rather than escalate them. When others see your calm and thoughtful approach, they may even feel inspired to reflect on their own actions. Finally, practicing compassion aligns with one of Stoicism's core principles, focusing on what you can control. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. Choosing compassion is an act of strength, not weakness. It demonstrates that your peace of mind is rooted in your values, not in the behavior of others. Compassion, when practiced consistently, transforms how you approach life. It allows you to see manipulation and conflict as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your well-being. In doing so, you cultivate not only resilience but also a deeper sense of connection with yourself and those around you. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, a life guided by clarity, strength, and empathy. 10. Reflect on the bigger picture. When caught in the grip of emotional mind games, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. The manipulator's goal is to drag you into the immediate drama, keeping you fixated on the moment and reactive to their provocations. But Stoicism teaches us to step back, zoom out, and consider the bigger picture. By doing so, you reclaim your perspective and prevent yourself from being consumed by trivialities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This idea is central to reflecting on the bigger picture. Emotional manipulation thrives when we allow small moments to dictate our state of mind. But in the grand scheme of your life, how much does this one argument, criticism, or interaction really matter? Often the answer is, not much at all. When you reflect on the bigger picture, you gain the ability to see situations with clarity and proportion. Ask yourself, will this moment still matter a month, a year, or even a week from now? Is the energy I'm investing in this conflict worth it? How does this align with my larger goals and values? These questions help you rise above the immediacy of the moment and avoid getting trapped in emotional games. Imagine, for example, a colleague trying to provoke you during a team meeting, making cutting remarks in front of others. In the moment, it might feel like your reputation is on the line, and the temptation to respond emotionally can be overwhelming. But when you step back and reflect on the bigger picture, you realize that your true reputation isn't built on a single interaction. It's shaped by your overall behavior, consistency, and professionalism. By staying composed and choosing not to engage, you demonstrate strength and wisdom that others will notice far more than any reactive response. Reflecting on the bigger picture also allows you to focus on what truly matters: your values, your goals, and your peace of mind. Emotional manipulation often seeks to derail you from these priorities, pulling you into conflicts that distract you from your path. But when you remind yourself of your larger purpose, you can let go of distractions and keep your focus where it belongs. This is how you stay grounded and unshaken, no matter what others may try to throw your way. This principle is especially powerful in relationships. Stoic relationships thrive when both individuals are committed to mutual growth and understanding. By reflecting on the bigger picture, you can approach conflicts with perspective, focusing on the health of the relationship rather than the heat of the moment. This doesn't mean tolerating manipulation or letting others take advantage of you. It means addressing issues with calm clarity, ensuring that your actions align with your long-term vision for the relationship. Reflecting on the bigger picture isn't just about individual moments, it's about the kind of person you want to be. The Stoics believed in living a life guided by virtue, and this principle helps you align your daily actions with that higher goal. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what would the best version of me do in this situation? How can I act in a way that reflects my values and contributes to the person I'm striving to become? These questions elevate your mindset, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. To make this practice a habit, consider journaling regularly. At the end of each day, reflect on the situations you encountered and how you responded. Were there moments when you got caught up in the small details? How might a broader perspective have changed your approach? Over time, this practice will strengthen your ability to see the bigger picture in real time, even in the face of emotional challenges. If this insight resonates with you and you're ready to shift your perspective to the bigger picture, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 below if you're ready to rise above emotional mind games and focus on what truly matters. And don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic strategies that empower you to live with purpose, resilience, and clarity. Together, we'll navigate life's challenges with the wisdom of Stoicism, one principle at a time. Emotional mind games can feel overwhelming, but they don't have to control your life. By applying the wisdom of Stoicism, you can reclaim your power, protect your peace, and navigate these challenges with strength and clarity. The principles we've explored, recognizing manipulation, mastering your responses, focusing on logic, reframing situations, and building inner resilience, are not just tools for outsmarting emotional games. They are strategies for living a life rooted in purpose and integrity. The Stoics remind us that we always have a choice. We can let external events dictate our emotions, or we can choose to respond with reason, compassion, and intention. When you align your actions with what truly matters, your values, goals, and inner peace, you become unshakable. Manipulations lose their power because you've built a life anchored in self-awareness and strength. But this journey doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, a commitment to continuous growth and reflection. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward greater emotional freedom and wisdom. If this guide has resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Which principle will you start applying today? How will you use these tools to transform your relationships, decisions, and inner world? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments and let us know how you plan to take action. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to stay connected as we dive deeper into the transformative power of Stoicism. Together, we can build a community grounded in strength, wisdom, and resilience. Thank you for watching, and here's to your journey toward a more peaceful, purposeful life. Remember, the power to rise above emotional games lies within you. You've got this. Stay strong, stay stoic, and until next time, take care.